Hello, good evening and welcome back to the channel. I did say that as soon as there's any announcements or movements between Nvidia and LG, I would be back to make another video informing you of my findings. As of yesterday, Nvidia released brand new GeForce Game Ready drivers. Well, when I heard this news, I rushed out, installed the driver update, and absolutely nothing happened. And I think the reasoning for that is, even if you've got the drivers installed and the latest LG firmware installed, you've still got to go into the Nvidia control panel and enable the G-Sync. Okay, just to recap, we are using the GeForce Game Ready driver 441.08. We are using the LG firmware version 04.70.05. Okay, so here we have in front of us the Nvidia control panel. I just want to first of all highlight that there are some changes to the resolutions available. Currently running in 4K, that's 3840 by 2160 at 60 Hz. Now if we scroll down and we look at the PC resolutions, I'd like to make note that 3840 by 2160 is available at 120 Hz, but even though I am using an ultra high definition HDMI cable, an 8K certified cable, you can't currently run 4K 120 Hz. It just results in the screen going into a monochrome background with all crazy lines all over it, all different colour pixelations between the monochrome. It clearly does not work. So I'm sticking to the 4K 60 Hz. Now, as I mentioned earlier, to get G-Sync working, we have to come down the side of the options here and we have to select Setup G-Sync. I'm going to apply no to that because I haven't made any changes, just only because I've swapped resolution on the other screen. So we're going to move down to Setup G-Sync, and the first thing that we have to do, because this isn't enabled, is enable G-Sync or G-Sync compatible device. So tick that box, and we want to enable it for full screen mode. Select the display you would like to change. Well, the only display I've got at the minute is the LG electronics display. And thirdly, the last thing and the most important thing, we have to tick the box there and then save any changes. You also need to make sure that on your LG TV that when you bring up the settings, your picture mode is in game, and that then when you go into all settings, that the first bit that comes up on picture, you go into additional settings, make sure that HDMI ultra deep color is set for the HDMI that you're using, and that the instant game response is also set for the channel you're using. Now I'm pretty sure that when you turn on instant game response, it also puts the ultra HD deep color on by default. As long as you've done all those things, you should find that you are set up for low latency variable refresh rate gaming. Okay, to demonstrate that the G-Sync is working, I've loaded up the G-Sync demo. Now unfortunately I can't record this demo at 4K and record the screen because it just knocks the hell out of the system, so my apologies for that. But I just wanted to mention that with just G-Sync on, there is some slight tearing, shimmering. I really don't know whether you can pick that up on the camera, but what I've found is if we enable V-Sync as well, it eliminates all tearing and it just becomes buttery smooth. Now I've also experienced this in every game I've tried, so this seems to be the way that we have to run VRR and the G-Sync supports. If I swap back to G-Sync, there's definitely, you get some slight artifacting and glitching there. You can see it as the mouse goes over it. If I go back to VSync, that just totally, if I go back on that, completely just seems to disappear. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire up a game, and I'm just actually recording the screen of the TV, and I'm going to fire up the Outer Worlds, and as soon as that loads up, you will see that we'll just go through the loading screen. We'll just get through that, and we should go through all the logos. And powered by AMD Radeon, optimized for Ryzen. And just up on the screen now is the instant game response. That is the only way that I understand that VRR is working. If I continue my current game, we'll just get this loaded up, and I'll just show you how smooth the frame rate is. We're just going to transition to the outside. And if I'm just going to put this recording down, so it might sound just a little bit funny for a second. And if I move that round, absolutely smooth, no glitching. Now, this works in all resolutions and with HDR. 1440p at 120 Hz feels absolutely very smooth, and it feels far more responsive than 4K 60. So there we go. As we currently stand, we have an absolutely sweet gaming experience. Okay, so we've gone through all the positives, now onto the negative problem that I've currently run into. As I mentioned earlier, because I've got the Oculus Rift, my HDMI port is occupied. Thus, I bought a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter. Now, during testing, I have noticed that the low latency VRR G-Sync does not work through the adapter. Whether this is a limitation of the adapter, or as I mentioned earlier, whether Nvidia has only enabled this technology on the HDMI port, I don't know. I'm going to reach out to StarTech, the vendor of the adapter, and find out, see if they've got any answers. I'm also going to put the question to Nvidia. It could be that Nvidia, protecting its market, has only enabled this on the HDMI and not DisplayPort, obviously because it markets many monitors with DisplayPort G-Sync technology. Who knows? I don't have the answers. If the community knows, please do comment away. I'll be interested to see your thoughts on this. So does that mean that the future of using the DisplayPort for 120 Hz gaming before we get HDMI 2.1 graphics cards is possible, but then again it's not going to be possible to run it in the ultra low latency mode? If that's the case, it sort of defeats the object of using it because you are missing out. I don't know whether newer adapters will come to the market. I don't know if firmware can be updated. I really don't have the answers at the minute. Anyway, I hope this video has been useful. If you've got both of the updates I've mentioned there, you've got all the settings that I've showed you, you should have one kick-ass OLED PC gaming monitor. And not only that, it works on the Xbox and the future Xbox, I would imagine, that is going to boast, so they say, 120 Hz gameplay. Let's see. 120 Hz is the future, and it is now if you're prepared to drop the resolution from 4K to 1440p. Anyway, I'm like a pig in shit at the minute. I'm going to go off to play a little bit more of the Outer Worlds. I've also, next video, I need to get on to looking at the VR performance of a Assetto Corsair Competition Zone, because I know that's been updated. Circumstances at the minute mean I'm not wrapping the videos out, but please bear with me, please be patient. Please like, subscribe, and thank you for watching this video. Happy gaming, go enjoy that low latency OLED goodness. Thank you, peace out.